Welcome to the AskARoofer Podcast, where all your roofing questions find their answers. Your hosts, Megan Ellsworth and Lauren White, peel back the layers of the roofing world to reveal the knowledge, tips, and FAQs you've been curious about. From shingles to skylights, metal to asphalt, we're here to demystify the system above your head. So get ready to ask, learn, and explore the fascinating world of roofing, one question at a time on the AskARoofer Podcast. Hello, everyone. My name is Megan Ellsworth.
And I'm Lauren White.
And this is the AskARoofer Podcast. Welcome back. Today we're talking about metal roofs with the one and only Renee from the Metal Roof Alliance. Hello, how are you?
Hello, I am wonderful. How are you guys?
So good.
Doing well.
Good.
Yeah, excited to chat about metal roofing and everything y'all are doing over there. So let's dive right in and just have you introduce yourself and tell us about the Metal Roofing Alliance a little bit.
All right. My name is Renee Ramey, as I was introduced. I've been in the metals industry construction side for a little over 26 years now.
Wow.
And in my time in the industry, I've learned to become very passionate and a big fan of metal in construction. I'm currently serving as executive director of the Metal Roofing Alliance. Been in this role for going on 7 years. And love what we do, which is we educate and promote metal roofing to homeowners. So we're here to drive awareness, answer questions, and be the resource for homeowners when it comes to metal roofing, re-roofing their home, period, but metal roofing specifically. And again, just trying to educate and promote metal roofing to them so that when they do get to a point where they're going to do a re-roof or a new home construction, metal enters the consideration set and they put metal on that roof. We also are supporting the industry, specifically manufacturers, suppliers that feed into the metal roofing manufacturers, and contractors or installers of the product. And so we've got a lot of cool stuff in place now and always looking for ways to support the industry as well.
Amazing.
That's great. And we love metal here too. So can you tell us what you're noticing about metal roofing's popularity with homeowners right now?
Yeah, every year we see it grow. Since I've been in this role, it's been a consistent growth, and it's a slow process. We're fighting the giant that is asphalt roofing, but I do think as more and more people become aware of metal roofing and understand the benefits that it brings, it's gotten easier to convince them, to get them to understand that it's really the right option for most homeowners. And so, yeah, we're seeing that trend up, and we have every expectation that that's going to continue.
Yeah, absolutely. Even just in the time that I've been in the industry total for 6 years, I've seen metal just go astronomically way higher than it was when I started. And then we were talking to the barndominium lady yesterday, and they use pretty much exclusively metal roofs, which is really cool. I'd love to know a little more in depth why homeowners are choosing metal, and if maybe a homeowner is listening to this and they're kind of on the edge, they don't know where to go, why should they?
Right. Well, pretty much every aspect of metal brings some benefits. For just basic benefit, it's very low maintenance, requires very little by way of cleaning. It lasts, we always say lifetime, but there are roofing systems. If you're getting a quality roofing system, it'll go 40, 50 plus years without any issues at all. And so that's big. It's kind of, one and done, for lack of a better description. And it, then you kind of transition into the benefits that come from cost savings, because you're not having to replace your roof every so many years. And you're not having to pay someone to go up and clean it so you don't lose the granules and things of that nature. But then you start getting into things like energy savings. If you install a quality metal roofing system, you're going to see an impact to your heating or cooling costs. You're going to see a better platform for solar. So if you're looking to do anything with solar, a quality metal roof is going to outlast most solar panel systems on the market, which means you're not going to have to pay somebody to take the system off, to replace the roof, to put the system back on and worry about warranties. And then we transition to just weather events, period. I think we can all agree that we're seeing a lot of weather events throughout the U.S., whether it's wildfires or hailstorms. I know we've seen a lot of massive rain and cold, and then we've seen hurricanes picking up, and we're right in the middle of hurricane season. And quality metal roofing, um, it just it protects your home because it's a solid roof. It's gonna withstand or resist high winds. It's going to resist and withstand pretty decent sized hailstorms. It's really lightweight, so it's perfect in heavy snow load areas. It sheds snow, which makes it easier for some homeowners. Uh, Wildfires, it resists embers, which is a real issue if you live in a fire-prone area. So it's just all those weather events just tack on yet another reason why a homeowner would want to consider metal roofing.
Yeah, I mean, I live in Colorado where we have a lot of wildfires. I mean, all over the western United States. And I believe I heard recently from our realtor friend that almost all houses in the mountains that are being built now are required to have metal roofs because of the fire resistance.
Yeah. And I know you're familiar with, the Oregon, Central Oregon area. You both are. I was talking to, we've had some pretty horrific fires that have come very close to where you guys are at. And the rebuild there, a lot of insurance companies, same thing. They're requiring the homeowners to put metal on their roofs. So there's a reason insurance companies are doing that. And then one thing I didn't touch on that I tend to overlook because I'm always digging into the more um, weather related or cost savings related things with metal roofing. But if you're a homeowner and you're worried that you don't want to put a roof on that's going to look like metal, or you don't want to go with a barn roof, as a lot of homeowners think, come to the metal roofing website, because we'll show you roofs that look like wood shake. We'll show you roofs that look like concrete or clay tile. There's even roofs that look like asphalt. Metal can come in any way, shape, and form and look like any other product out there. And so from an aesthetics perspective, there's no reason you wouldn't want to go with a metal roof as well.
Yeah, the versatility is amazing. Yeah, it's hard to differentiate sometimes. Like, that's actually a metal roof? I had no idea.
Yeah, I run into that problem.
I'm back. Sorry. So I know that part of the Metal Roofing Alliance is education, and not just for contractors, but also homeowners. And I hear that you have a new guide, the new Residential Roofing Basics for Metal Guide. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. We just based off questions we were receiving from homeowners, and then also from contractors that install asphalt roofing that are looking to learn a bit more about the metal side, or to get into roofing from installing windows. I mean, we get hit up with a lot of questions. And the one thing that I realized is that there are a lot of people that just don't understand the basics of a roof. So it's really hard as a homeowner. It's really hard to go out and find someone who's quality. It makes it harder to find someone who's quality when you don't speak the language, or you don't understand the nuances of a roof and the different types of parts of a roof, and different aspects that play into replacing your roof. And so we saw a similar guide at a regional show, and we thought, there's something there. And so we've taken kind of the concept and developed that into something a little more robust. It covers what are the bits and parts of a roof, that need to be considered? What are they called? What do they look like? Why do they matter? And then it also then goes into just a very high level summary of the different roofing materials out there and provides pros and cons. Because, you know, every roof has a pro, every style of, or type of roofing material has a pro, every one has a con. You know, we think metal has less cons and more pros, but at the end of the day, you know, we wanted to give them just a quick brush guide of, yeah, what is a roof, and what are the bits and parts, and why does it matter? So yeah, that would be something really good for a homeowner to download, and just go through and educate yourself really quickly if you're not familiar with the language before you reach out to a professional.
Absolutely.
Cool.
So, why would you say this is so useful for a new homeowner? Maybe someone like a Gen Z couple that they want to buy their first home. Why should they download this? You kind of touched on it a little bit already, but maybe go in more.
Yeah, well, I think it's that self-education piece
Yeah.
a bit. So if you're new, if you're going to be a new homeowner, period, you know, before you even buy a house, I would hope
Mm-hmm.
that you would have some level of understanding of the roof, because that's one of the most expensive things that
Yeah.
you're probably going to have to replace on that house. And so, you know, with that in mind, again, understanding, you know, what a gable is, and what the different pitches and, you know, different designs of a roof line look like, what they're called, and what kind of complexity they can add to a roof, different things you have to think of,
Yeah.
when it comes to replacing that roof. So, you know, and you know, setting aside the roof replacement period, just learning your roof enough to know this, and this guide will help you where the pain points might be. So, you know, if you've
Yeah.
got a certain roof line where you've got different angles meeting up, you know, that might be a great place to make sure that, you know, the flashing materials are in place, or, you know, just things of that nature. So it really is, it's just a good educational piece.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And what's your favorite part of the Roofing Basics Guide?
I love the simplicity of it. I think it gets very easy for me and others that have been in the industry for a long time to just assume everybody knows that stuff. And I love that we took
Yeah.
it down to just the basics, and you know, no big speak, no anything that, you know, that's going to make someone feel small or silly for not knowing that. And I like that about the guide.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think,
that's
I
so
mean, going back
important.
to yeah, it's so important. Like going back to the new homeowners, like if you have no idea what goes into the roof, then it'll be hard if you buy a house and then you're like a year in and you need a new roof. Uh-oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's so important.
Yeah.
So we talked about wildfires and all the severe weather events going on, but I hear that you have another new guide, and it's the regional considerations guide. So that kind of goes into all of that stuff. So can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, that one is kind of born from our larger buyer's guide. That's a
Got it.
homeowner reference guide. But to our conversation so far, and what we're seeing in the market is weather is becoming a bigger issue throughout the US and Canada. And it does play such an important role in your home's, you know, securing your home, not just staying on the house itself, but the importance that staying on the house has in the windows not blowing out in a hurricane, or your items not getting wet from a water leak, right? Like, so it's not just the roof on the house, it's the
Yep.
protection of your home that is so important. And so yeah, we pulled out and elaborated on the regional considerations that should be taken into account, we believe, when you're looking to replace your roof. So for example, we've talked a lot about the wildfires. If you live in an area that is prone to wildfires, um, you know, there's certain things that you need to take into account, not just put a metal roof on your home, but, you know, have a buffer zone around your house. Um, Make sure you get a certain quality of roof, you know, make sure you're cleaning out your gutters. So it's a little more than just, you know, this roof performs better. It's this performs better metal in this environment or in this weather event. It gives lists of why. So we're actually pointing to the various testing that a quality system will go through. So if you're in a wildfire prone area, you want a roof that's rated to withstand or resist embers and perform. And if you're in a hurricane area, you want a roof a system that's going to stay on your home in high winds and not leak and whatnot. And so it's talking about the roof, but it's also talking about other things that you could be doing to prepare your home in those regions as well. And then we also touch on a funner side of the regional considerations is, what's the most common architectural styles, and here's some examples of the metal roofing options that go great on that architectural style. So it's touching on the heavy stuff and the important stuff, but it's also touching on the look and feel of the aesthetic of your home.
So I love that part of the guide includes that aesthetic aspect of the roof, because, the curb appeal is so important. You want your roof to look similar to other roofs in your area, so you're not standing out amongst the neighborhood. So I love that that's part of the guide as well.
Yeah, we liked to include the aesthetic aspect of where you live and why that matters. And I'll share a story recently, having talked to a homeowner that just redid their roof. It was with metal. And, she did it for some of the other reasons we've spoke about, the energy costs, the weather events, things of that nature. And she picked a roof she liked, she saw some of the options. But she didn't understand until the roof was on how big of an impact it would have on her entire home aesthetically. And I think a lot of times people overlook that. They'll avoid metal roofing because they think it's a barn roof or that it just comes in standing seam. When we get them to understand it comes in other options, that's great. But through that whole process, I think one thing that largely goes unthought about is, your roof is a huge amount of the road front square footage that somebody's looking at most times with a home. And a lot of times people worry about what color they're painting their house or what color their window frames are, and those are all great too, but the roof is a huge part of the aesthetic of a home. And taking it back to the lady I spoke with, she was just in awe of how she loved the roof she picked, but once it was up on her home, just how absolutely amazing it made her home look. It just was that extra aesthetic oomph, that they weren't expecting, but were so pleased with.
That's so cool. I love that you get to hear stories like that from homeowners and the before and afters. The roof is really the unsung hero of the building.
Yes. I agree.
Yes, absolutely. So, how does this regional considerations guide help homeowners select a new roof? You kind of touched on it with all the different options, but let's go over it again.
Yeah, I think it just, again, going back to that educational piece, we exist to educate homeowners. And, a lot of times I think people make decisions without taking into consideration a lot of things, and a regional where you live aspect of that decision process kind of gets left out or overlooked. And so it's just a really quick and easy guide. It's educating yourself, it's taking upon yourself to learn some things. Hopefully, all of it. Maybe you don't, but certainly it'll give you, as a homeowner, things to think about that maybe you weren't as you walk through that. Which type of roof should we get? And, what, not even metal versus asphalt or shake, but even so far as once you decide to go with metal, what roofing style you go with, right? So if you're looking for something that's going to shed snow versus something that, it just really is a helpful regional educational guide.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so important. And is the aesthetic aspect your favorite part of this regional guide, or do you have another favorite part?
Yeah, I think the aesthetics are kind of neat. I mean, it makes it light and fun. But the thing I love most about it is it touches on the important things, like, the test results you should be, aware of, the things you should ask
Mm,
the installer. But it's so straight to the point, I guess. It's so concise, and that's the thing I like about it the most, is it's not a lot of fluff, but in fact it's more just useful information, and I like that.
yeah, that's nice. That's always helpful too when you're just trying to get, facts and answers. You don't want to have to flip through all the pages and then eventually not even find your answer. It's nice to just have that one document you can look at and get all your answers. That's great.
Absolutely.
So, how can people find these guides and start using them?
Yeah, they're both on the Metal Roofing Alliance website. And then if you want to go even simpler than that, our email address is support@metalroofing, METAL roofing, not with an ING, all one word, .com. So email support@metalroofing and say, hey, I'd love to get a copy of that guide. We want to make it as simple as possible for it to get in the hands of the people that want it. So yeah, go to our website, shoot us an email. Either way works.
That's great.
That's great.
You can also go to AskARoofer.com and go to their directory and find all that information as well.
Love it.
And what do these cost? Do these cost anything to homeowners?
Nope. Nope.
Woohoo!
Again, we exist to educate. We're actually, Metal Roofing Alliance is a nonprofit, legally, and we're that because, again, we are here to educate and grow awareness for metal roofing. And so whatever we can get in the hands of a homeowner to make their process easier and it's free. I mean, it's easy to download. Tell me what else we can do. We're here to the homeowner for sure.
We love free. That's great.
Yeah, free 99. That's great. Well, Renee, thank you so much. As always, you have been amazing. We so appreciate you being on the podcast and look forward to doing it again.
Oh, I love being with you guys on here. And yeah, happy to talk about metal anytime.
Thank you.
Well, if you have questions, you know where to go. Go to AskARoofer.com, ask your question, and someone will be ready to answer it at every time of the day. And also go to AskARoofer.com to just learn more about the Metal Roofing Alliance. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Well, that was a great episode. I love Renee. She's the best and so knowledgeable.
I know. She's always such a fun guest. And I feel like she's probably our most frequent guest on this podcast.
Yeah. She's a series regular.
I know. All things metal. We love it.
Yeah, I know. It's so cool. And we got to see she had a background in the second half of the episode. And I'm pretty sure that was metal, obviously, like metal shingles. And she talked about that in the podcast too, how there's so many more options than people think there are when it comes to metal roofing, and that's really cool.
Yeah, so much versatility. I mean, anymore it can look like anything you want it to, which is so key, especially in an HOA. They might have restrictions, but if you live in an area prone to fires and don't want a cedar shake roof on your house, you can still get a metal roof that looks like it. And I think that's so great and so amazing, the technology anymore.
I know. Yeah. It is really cool. It's cool. Like you mentioned, the cedar shake thing really blew me away. And the shingles, and you can have it look like clay tile now, which is really cool for like the Florida market, California market. You want like that hurricane resistance, but you want it to look like clay. That's cool.
Right. You still want that aesthetic and that curb appeal for your home. Yeah. And they have some exciting new stuff out. The MRA, the Metal Roofing Alliance, they have 2 new free guides for homeowners.
They have so many guides. I want to say they have like upwards of 10 now. The overall home buyer's guide, and then they have like mini versions that go more in depth into kind of each chapter, which is really cool, and it's all free.
I know. How incredible is that? Free education for homeowners, new homeowners, or people who have a home and need a new roof and need to learn more about metal roofing and what their options are. And the 2 new ones are the kind of roofing basics kind of going back to the beginning, and then regional considerations for people in different areas, because, you know, my home here in Oregon is going to have different needs than a home in Florida for their roof. And it's not one size fits all.
Yeah, definitely not. But metal is one
It is.
size, one material fits all.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, super cool. And I just providing that information for especially new homeowners. We touched on that in the episode. So if you're a new homeowner or you're hoping to become a homeowner soon, definitely start reading these guides and looking into what goes into installing a new roof and whatnot, because that's probably something you're going to come across if you're buying a house.
Yeah, absolutely. So go check out all their guides, and especially their new ones that just came out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoy the episode. Lauren, I'll see you on the next one.
Yes, can't wait.
Bye. If your roof needs answers, subscribe now to the AskARoofer Podcast. We've got your questions covered, one episode at a time. Go to AskARoofer.com to submit your questions and learn more. Stay tuned and keep those questions coming.